USA when he walked out to that podium last night at Mar-a-Lago. Former President Donald Trump receiving a warm welcome at his home on Palm Beach. He spoke to the cheering supporters inside the ballroom there after being criminally charged in New York yesterday. He says the only crime he's committed is vigorously defending our nation from those who seek to destroy it.
John Huddy joins us now, senior correspondent, to talk more about being in the room during the speech. John?
Yeah, and former President Trump kicked off the speech, as he just said, with the line, "The only crime I've committed is to vigorously defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it." And it was a relatively short speech as far as, you know, speeches with Donald Trump go. He's been known to go 2 to 3 hours at some rallies. This was, what, about 21, 25 minutes, something like that. He spoke to a packed ballroom of supporters at Mar-a-Lago, including several people I recognized from being outside Mar-a-Lago along Southern Boulevard after news broke of the indictment. Some of his supporters out there, campaign officials, senior advisors like Boris Epshteyn, who was seated next to him at the defense table in court, as you know. His family, Donald Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle, Eric Trump and his wife, friends and lawmakers such as Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, and Brian Mast. His wife, former First Lady Melania Trump, was not there. I don't want to read too much into that, though. But as I reported in the lead up to the speech last night, you know, we heard he would discuss the word, you know, the political weaponization of the government. We've heard that word a lot in recent weeks, both when news of a possible indictment first broke and then with the indictment being handed down. We didn't know, though, if he was going to talk about the arrest, the arraignment, the Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, or the judge Juan Merchan. Well, he talked about all of that. In fact, here's what former President Trump said about the judge presiding over the case. Listen.
I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family whose daughter worked for Kamala Harris and now receives money from the Biden-Harris campaign, and a lot of it. We recently had another trial, and the same judge told the fine man who worked for me for many, many years that if you admit your guilt, you will be in jail for 90 days. But if you don't, if we go through a trial and you're found guilty, you're going away for 10 years and maybe longer, which for a 75-year-old man with a great family really means life.
He also said that everybody that's looked at this case says there's no crime and it should have never been investigated or even happened at all. Former President Trump also took aim at the ongoing investigation in Georgia, and also Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, who's been investigating the Trump Organization. He also took shots, as expected, at President Biden and his administration over its handling of America's withdrawal from Afghanistan, calling it embarrassing, America's crime problems, and the investigation into Mr. Trump's handling of classified documents and the raid at Mar-a-Lago. Well, former President Trump also brought up President Biden's handling of classified documents. Listen.
Biden was vice president. He had absolutely no right to declassify as vice president. He doesn't come under the non-criminal Presidential Records Act. He comes under the very criminal Federal Records Act, unfortunately for him, but it's not going to matter because they don't follow the law, which has very severe penalties. He had classified documents that he took while he was a senator, which is absolutely inexcusable. And other senators, including Democrats, are outraged. But he's not being harassed and hounded like the people who work for me are. In fact, they seem to have forgotten about his documents entirely.
And he did bring up Hunter Biden's name a couple times, and also the ongoing concerns and questions about Chinese money that the Bidens received. Now, the Trump campaign said it would be back to business today, and senior campaign officials and advisors that I've been talking to the past few days said the indictment and arraignment, as stunning and upsetting as it is to them, and of course, disappointing for the former president, said it's not going to deter him from going forward with the campaign. In fact, as one senior advisor told me last night, it has only emboldened the former president in this ongoing fight.
Pretty clear, and a who's who in that ballroom last night. John Huddy, thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, let's check out who else was checking out the speech last night. On your left, that's UFC champion Colby Covington, and a regular on this program, John Rourke, on the right-hand side of your screen. And both of them join us right now. First, let's introduce former UFC welterweight champion Colby Covington. I think he'll be back there again. And John Rourke joined us as well, a retired Army sergeant and recruiter and the CEO of Blue Line Moving. Gentlemen, we've heard from a lot of people after the speech last night, a lot of political pundits, but neither one of you are political pundits. You are just regular guys. Give us your, John, there's your beautiful wife as well. Tell us what it was like to be on the speech. Colby, first to you, or in the speech.
It was amazing to be amongst so many patriots in the Freedom Palace of Mar-a-Lago, and just seeing, how Donald Trump is handling this is just, it's so inspirational for me. A lot of lesser men would have given in by now, but, Donald Trump likes the pressure, and like they say, pressure makes diamonds, and diamonds last forever. And so does President Donald Trump, the greatest fighter in American history.
The fighter's mentality, and of course we don't mean literally fighting physically, we mean fighting back against these charges. Is that, Colby, what attracts you to Donald Trump, is the way he fights back and the way he stands up for the common guy? Because you have no problems. A lot of athletes don't like to get into politics, but you have no issues supporting Donald Trump.
Yeah, just seeing the way Donald Trump fights, gives me inspiration and in my own career to go win world titles and keep fighting against all the people that tell me I can't do it. So seeing the way he fights the woke communist swamp, and he doesn't have to do that. The guy could be living and enjoying his life and all the billions of dollars that he made his whole entire life, but he's fighting back, and he's fighting for the people, and he's fighting for freedom here in America. So God bless Donald Trump, and God bless his family.
John, give us your take on the speech last night. You were in the room as well.
Oh, man. I'm ready to go to war for this guy right now. Let me tell you. It's just, he is the working man's president. And let me just make this clear to everyone out there, man. I love Donald Trump, man. This guy just fights and fights and fights, and they throw everything at him. They throw the Russia, Ukraine. It just never ends, and he takes these battles on head on, and he fights, and we love him. America loves a fighter and loves someone that supports their country. Like Colby said, he could be enjoying Mar-a-Lago. He could be enjoying all of the money that he's made over his whole life working his butt off, but instead he wants to come out here and deal with guys like Alvin Bragg, who literally is trumping up charges on nothing, can't even list a crime in the indictment, and he wants to fight this guy. Good luck with that fight, buddy. Trump is coming, and he's going to lay the hammer down, guaranteed.
All right, I didn't want to let you guys go before we had a chance to talk about the big merger between WWE and UFC. UFC owner Endeavor has acquired WWE. Colby, how excited are you about this?
I'm pumped, baby. I'm going to get some new belts in my collection. I got a lot of belts in the collection, King of Miami, Donald Trump's favorite fighter, which is my most prestigious belt, UFC champion, so many belts. Now I can add a WWE title to the collection. There you go.
There you go. And there's a big fight this weekend. Are you going to go? Jorge Masvidal fighting down in Miami. You going to check it out?
Nah, I got bigger fish to fry this summer with Leon Edwards. So, I got an undisputed UFC title shot to get ready for. So, my full focus and attention is there right now. I'm not worried about a guy I just gave the 50-44 in a soda to.
All right, well, stay focused on the task at hand. Gentlemen, thanks for being on the program today. We'll have to have you back. Colby, you're welcome back anytime. Come see us here in the studio. And, John, we'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks, guys.
Good stuff, John.